Good evening and welcome to another another episode of Cordelia's Passion. Tonight we have C.D. Storm here. He's a poet and spoken word artist. And we got Dennis, who just likes to hang out. And
Not the camera?
He hangs out. Dennis, look at any camera you want. That one, whatever. But Dennis, it hangs out.
Yes.
In the studio, and it's all good because I hang out in the studio too. So, CD Storm, I'm going to start with CD.
That's cool.
So,
yes.
Let me know. Now, let me give you both a little, disclaimer about my show. It's a Friday night, and I believe in having fun on a Friday. I do not do any serious stuff, and I'm a philosopher. Shout out to KRS-One, but I'm not really thinking very deeply tonight. We just want to have fun.
That's right.
And the premise of my show is to get artists on that people think are quote unquote deep, or I don't know, whatever, and just ask like these crazy bugged out questions, because I think even the most serious and intellectual person every now and again needs to let their hair down, just have some fun.
Absolutely.
Nobody's trying to hear all that all the time.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
So now, CD, where did you grow up, and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I grew up in the South End on Symphony Road, but then I quickly moved to Columbia Point as a child, and my mother, we stayed there till I was about 7, 8 years old, and she moved us to California. California, Montclair, California. And we stayed out there for a couple of years, but my mother being old school and used to, the seasons changing and things, she was sad one Christmas day when it was 80 degrees outside. And she says, I'm packing my kids up and I'm taking them back to, to down here. So and then we moved into Mattapan, and that's where it all began. Yes.
So now, what inspired you to be a poet? Were you just like an introspective child, or were you always like, I don't know, did you always have a
I've always been the black sheep of the family, and my love for poetry is my expression of myself and what I feel that's going on in my family, myself, the community, the nation, and the world at large. And I speak, say what the people want to say. And I just happen to say it in a poetic form because that's my gift.
So now, you have very interesting features. You know who you remind me of? And I remember as a kid, there was the mini-series Shaka Zulu.
Ooh!
That mini-series, do you remember? It was awesome!
That was it was a live action one, right?
No, it was it was a mini-series they did about this chief named Shaka Zulu, but it was like a mini series.
It was a 5-hour show.
It was awesome. And
it was multiple episodes, right?
Right. It was like a series.
It was a BBC
No, it wasn't BBC. It was just like
it was a mini series.
Mini movie series that
it was a 5-hour long.
80s,
yes.
Late 80s.
Shaka Zulu. Henry Cooper. He just died recently.
It was so good. You look like him.
And I am him.
Yeah,
you
look like him. It's so crazy.
If you go on my Facebook, you see him and I together.
Are you kidding me?
I kid you not. I am.
He looks just like him. But anyways, that's bugged out. So,
thank you for saying that.
Oh,
because he's a great warrior.
Yeah, he was. I remember I was as a kid. I mean, I was young. I shouldn't even probably been even like whatever. But I just remember thinking I watched Shaka Zulu. And because we all watched, it's like a family thing. Everybody watched it because they didn't really have. They had cable, but it really wasn't cable.
Yeah,
Everybody was still family watching movies in the living room.
Right.
Oh my God! And I just remember looking at that movie, and I just remember like, wow, that's the most striking man I've ever seen in my life.
Yes,
and I was so mesmerized, and I'm saying to myself, well, what is that about? Because I was only like. I'm not going to tell you how old I was when I was that, but anyway.
He's from Nataho, and he was a prophesized child to come up and change the whole way of the Zulu nation. He changed the whole way of warfare.
Oh, it was amazing.
He changed the whole way.
You got to watch this miniseries. And I was a kid and I was just mesmerized by him because he was so striking. And you look like him.
Well, thank you.
So now, just like I said, I'm not a serious person because I'm not whatever. So, first time you ever cut class And we've all cut class. I cut class. I did. Did you ever cut class? Don't lie.
Tell you the truth, I don't think I ever have cut class.
What's wrong with you?
I just never came across to it. And the way my high school was set up, it was impossible to cut
How?
class. The corridors were long, the hallways were really long, and there were
Just
people
snuck out
monitoring
the
the place.
window.
Just if I snuck out the window, I get caught, and
Oh, God, Dennis.
it's just
You never had the experience of cutting class?
I just never, like, if I was gonna, I mean, I've skipped school before, like skipped school days, but
Okay, so you skipped school.
yes.
I'm gonna get back. So now we're gonna. I'm gonna get back. You think
Okay,
about
okay,
to what
all
you
right.
did when you skipped. You skipped school, because I'm gonna get back to this.
All right.
So the first time you cut class and skipped school, what did you do? Where did you go? Who did you see?
I I was in the 10th grade, and I got kept back in the 10th grade because I spent the whole entire year in Muhammad's Mosque bookstore in Grove Hall under a man. His name was Brother Yusuf Ali, Brother Joseph 3X, and he taught me for the entire year. The only time I went to school is to take a test, and I maxed it with A's. But they told me that they couldn't graduate me because I only been to school 23 days out the year.
So when's the first time you went clubbing?
I don't go, when I go to clubs, it's to perform.
No, when you were a kid, like when you were like 20, 21.
I was in the United States Marine Corps.
Oh my goodness. So did you ever like have like a wild phase where you just went bananas and you just was like,
I've been on drugs for 40 years. I've been shooting heroin, cocaine. Instead, I've robbed banks, I've prostituted women. I did 9 years in the federal penitentiary. I got shot 4 times. I've been stabbed 4 times. I shot myself. I've had 3 major operations on my leg. My body was 99.9% poison. I had to learn how to walk all over again, heel toe. And so that's just the introduction to CD Storm.
when did you have fun?
I've had fun every day. I'm having a ball right here, right now.
That's right.
This is my dream.
You gotta have dreams.
I'm living my dream.
You
I live
have
my
to.
dream every day.
You do.
Every day.
Every day you wake up, you just have to just say, where's the shots?
That's right.
What? I don't know, tequila? I don't know, some people.
That's pretty strong for the morning, but
Not every morning. I'm gonna say it's in the evening. I'm not gonna say in the morning. Don't drink in the morning.
I don't drink,
in the
smoke,
morning.
and do drugs. I told you I've lost more stuff than an army has consumed. And the only reason why I'm sitting here talking to you is by the grace, mercy, and favor of God. And that's why I travel all over and I do what I do, because God has let me go through everything in spirits, everything in life, so that I could be a living testimony that is only Him that could pull me out of it, because the government couldn't help me, the mayor couldn't help me, the community couldn't help me, my mother and father couldn't help me, my wife couldn't help me. The only one that could help me is God, and He let that happen to show me that it's Him to pull me out of this and to be a witness. And so that's why I do what I'm doing, because people would rather listen to somebody who has experienced it than somebody who got all the symbols on the wall and the credentials. And I call them symbols without substance. You see, I don't have the PhDs on the wall, but I got them in life experience.
That's right. This is what you need.
thank you, son.
You gotta have a PhD out there in those streets sometimes.
That's right.
Seriously, because, yeah, people need to, sometimes life will teach you the best lessons. Sometimes life is just going through stuff in life will be the best education. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I think everybody. I always say, people need to lose stuff. And everybody's like, lose stuff. I don't want to lose anything. Nobody wants to lose anything. You know what I mean? Like, no. Sometimes you have to lose stuff in order to
Appreciate something.
and learn who you are. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people lose stuff and they have a pity party and they start crying. They start, they don't. And my whole thing is like, that's a weak person. A weak person, when they lose everything or they lose something and they stop whining and complaining, that's a weak person. To me, a strong person is the person that can lose something and say, okay, all right, I'm about to go work this paper route. I'm about to go do this, do that. I'm about to take some bottles. I'm going to go and put them in the thing. And like a strong person will lose everything and know how to rebuild. Like just naturally, it'll be a natural instinct that'll kick in, a survival instinct that'll be like, okay, all right, I don't have a house anymore, but I bet you I know how to go chop down some little trees, and I bet you I'll build a little house. You know what I mean? It might not be the 5-bedroom house, but I bet you I'll know how to build a house with one room. I know how to go out to the backyard, dig a ditch, you know. But yeah, I think sometimes people need to lose stuff because I
Exactly
I
true.
don't think people
But
appreciate.
before the strong person gets to that point where when he falls down, he knows how to get. Before he gets to that point, he's got to be that
go through
whining person,
yeah.
that pity party person. That pity party person is just in the development stages of being strong. You see, and when you lose, you have to lose everything. I've been rich and I've been poor. I slept the whole winter out on the streets, except for maybe 3 weeks here over this one's house, this one's house. Everywhere I went, I had to have drugs. When the drugs is gone, I had to go. So I had to lose everything. Even the only thing that I did not lose was my manhood, and I had to lose everything else in order to realize and appreciate what little I have now. You see, and so in the process of that, I pity partied I thought I blamed the world.
Yeah.
I blamed everybody. I blamed the government. I blamed the white man. I blamed all that. You see, maybe it was the white man's fault for bringing us over here and enslaving us, but it ain't his fault right now because now we know better. Now we know what to do. But you can't go around and say, well, the white man did this and the white man did that. Okay, that may be true too. There is not a white person on this that's living right now that had anything to do with slavery. But there's not a white person in here that does not benefit from the slavery. That man over there, he benefits from slavery, from his great-great-great-great-grandfather, however it is. Right now, he benefiting from it. But he ain't got nothing to do with it. And I know that you want. I know you wanted.
Okay, I'm like,
I'm good. Don't worry.
slow down.
Don't
I know
worry.
you wanted to say that this was a fun thing right here, but like I just now did a show over here, and they almost said like, and we got some good entertainment and see these storms, and I beg to differ because I am not an entertainer, and I am not here to entertain you. I'm here to enlighten you, inspire you, and definitely empower you. Now, when I accomplish that, if I entertain you, that's icing on the cake. But I am not here to entertain you. I'm not an entertainer.
So now, what do? You perform live?
I
Do you
perform
with
live.
Bands? Do you perform?
Well, the name of my band is called Dark Citizen Society Band, featuring C.D. Stone. We're out of Chicago, but I roll with a lot of people here in Boston, Black Market Records, and a couple other people. But that's the name. That's my people. Dark Citizen Society Band, featuring C.D. Storm. Eli Simmons, you the man.
So, Dennis.
Well, before we're going,
you can be intense.
I'm very intense.
before
You can be intense. This is an intense show. I keep telling you that. This is my show, by the way. I'm sick of everybody. Tonight, everybody's coming on here, doing what they want to do. The other one's coming on. I'm like, who's in control here? Henry.
Listen, let me do some poetry.
Henry, no. Excuse me, Henry, because you seem to be the man tonight. Everybody is referring to Henry all night long. Henry, this is supposed to be my show. Everybody's coming on here trying to control the mic. I don't want you dropping the mic on me. Okay. Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Dennis.
Well, before we go any further, can I just say this?
I said I had.
Before we go any further, so before we go any further, I must say, is it okay if I call you Sir CD?
No, you just call me Brother Storm.
Brother Storm. All right, I gotta say, I actually respect everything you're saying.
Yes, sir.
You're unapologetic about it, and I like that. Like it's just,
Well, thank you very much, man.
you know, it's just. I mean,
appreciate that.
I'm not gonna get into social justice stuff right now.
No,
I won't.
please.
But I'll say this, and I'll say this only. I'll say this and this only.
Okay.
It's just, especially with the dialogue going on, everyone has to worry about who says what, and I offend this person, and he just said it straight up, and he's just like, this white guy, this white guy's benefiting from slavery and all that, and I'm just gonna say, like, he was unapologetic, and I like that. Just, it's a reality of what's going on right now with everything going on in terms of the election and police brutality, everything, and it's just, if I'm getting at anything, it's just if there can be more tolerating conversations where people can just say, out in public, white folks, this, that, and the third, then I think it would be a better world. Instead of thinking about, okay,
What can I say?
Yeah. But then again, once again, when you go into, more structured environments, of course, you're going to have more of
that kind of conversation.
Me kind of people per se. But anyways, I'm sorry, not to make this social justice.
I want to know.
That was a great point.
But
That was
my thing is this:
great.
I'm still trying to figure out what did you do when you cut school?
Okay, yes. Getting more to funny topics, yes. I'm still...
Man, Henry!
Okay.
Henry! This is not my bag.
Okay, let's talk about something funny now.
It's Friday. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Okay.
God.
I don't have, all my jokes are dirty because they're from the Marine
No,
Corps.
listen. I just want to know when the first time that what did you do?
Okay,
Because
so-
now, Dennis, if Dennis's parents are watching, mind you, Dennis is a grown man now. You cannot hold anything against him that he did when he was 15 or 16.
That's
if you
right.
do that, this is not right, parents.
By the way, this is being recorded, or is this on live television? One of the
no,
two?
this is being recorded.
Recorded? That's fine. Well, I mean, we're recording it for a reason, so I'd expect so. But so what did I do when I skipped school? Honestly, when I was in 5th grade, I remember I had this little trick I used to do, and it was something stupid, but like I want to stay home and play video games. In class, like I go to a little corner where my teacher couldn't see me, and I'd put my fingers in my throat and then
Make yourself throw up.
not make myself throw up, make myself sneeze. And it was stupid. I was in 5th grade. Don't ask me why.
You a kid.
And I kept sneezing, and I went to go home, and I did this trick a couple times if I didn't want to be in school. So, I got my parents picked me up. I went home and played video games. So
That's right on. I'm big up.
Yes, yes,
Atari, what was it? Nintendo? What was that? Which one?
He had a normal upbringing. That's a normal upbringing.
at the time, it was a Sega Dreamcast. Yes. This is in '99, 2000, around there.
I seen that when he just saying he lying. I seen that on Leave It to Beaver. That was on the Leave It to
Beaver. That's like
that was a segment on Leave It to Beaver.
They did not have any.
They didn't have a Sega. They did not have a Sega
Eddie
Dreamcast.
Haskell come around asking for milk, and you know he wanted more than milk from that mother.
The Sega Genesis was a 128-bit system. At the time, they had 64 kilobyte computers.
You know he wanted more than milk from that
Wow.
mother. But anyway,
We can talk about that.
The mother was always like,
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
I was like, I get it. I get the undertone.
sugar.
Even as a kid, I caught the undertone.
Man,
She
you
was
on
always
it.
like, hey,
You
Miss
on it.
whatever her name was.
Yeah.
And then she was like, hey, Eddie. I'm just kind of hanging
Yeah.
I said, this kid is out of control. He's macking on his friend's mother.
I
It's always kind of like.
I made some fresh sandwiches, Eddie.
What's the reference?
And the father's always gone. He's always off to work, and when Eddie come around.
So I'm assuming it has something to do with me banging the mother.
No, but come on now. No, it's not about that. Oh Lord, no. It's just like the son had a friend, and the friend would always come around and say, "Hey, Miss Cleaver," and she would always go, "Hey, Eddie, got some sandwiches." Da, 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 da.
You tell me how old you are, but I tell you, if you know
No,
about
I used
that.
to watch the reruns.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I used to watch the reruns. Whatever. I used to watch the reruns.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
okay, you made it.
No, but I would watch the reruns and I just thought, leave it to Beaver.
Yeah.
You know,
I still watch it now.
I don't even, you know
I
what?
still watch it now.
I think if
And
I
the
was,
Rifleman, and all the.
like if I was to watch this stuff now, you catch all the
You catch it now,
Like
yeah.
Eddie Haskell come around.
Yeah.
Hey.
See, now, all the time that I've been watching it, I never made that analogy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
was always
So now I'm
creeping.
going to watch it with a whole new.
He was always creeping around.
Yes.
And the son had the son had no idea. But I picked
Yeah.
up. I was like,
Nobody had no
I'm
idea.
like, why is his friend always like,
Yeah.
hey?
Yeah.
You know, and I used to be like,
That is so funny.
I said, he seemed a little like.
He's a player.
He's trying to creep.
He was a player.
He's trying to creep around.
Yeah.
You know, the father, like
Yeah.
the father was never home. This is like I don't know what they're talking about. So, okay.
Leave it to Beaver,
Leave
banging
it
the
to
mom. Yeah.
Okay. So now, let me see. So now,
I've seen some hot moms in my day. But anyways,
so now when you were.
tons.
Okay, so what inspires you in life? Like, what inspires you in your life now as a man? Is it like taking hikes? Is it going on vacation? Is it listening to music? What type of music do you like?
What kind of music do you think I like? Let's start there. What kind of music do you think I like?
If I look at you,
The Beatles.
no, I don't strike him as a Beatles type. He's more like,
Fleetwood Mac.
no, I can see more dance, like a lot of
Electronic trance.
electronic. I think somewhere in you, I think you like a little hip hop. You like a little hip hop, maybe like the Roots. But I can see like more like
I
electronic.
know you like that funky James Brown. Who
So
don't like
in-
James Brown?
So I will say this in terms of music. Actually, yes, I do like a lot of the hip hop, but like believe it or not, I actually like a lot of the trap music that's out
Trap,
right. Yeah. Yes, like a lot. You're familiar with the trap music scene,
Yeah.
right?
No, I am. I'll tell you. Be honest. I'm not too up on it.
Okay, so
I know it, but I just
okay, so it's the modern bass heavy
rap, yeah.
rap that's going on right now.
Middle rock.
No, the bass heavy
like
rap
rap.
that's going on right now. The trap music. That's what it is. The bass heavy rap.
Okay.
So, I guess if we were to talk about music, so I'm somebody that I move along with the progression of time. In fact, I like music now more than stuff in the past. Now, I'll have you guess my age, but I guess, I've gotten to the stage of development where a lot of people are like, oh, the good old days, the good old days. I like the stuff now better than, and honestly, have you heard of The Weeknd?
I love The Weeknd.
Yes, I love The Weeknd too.
I saw him at the Roots picnic. He was awesome, by the way. Shout out to Weeknd. You a great live performer.
He's amazing.
It was amazing.
He was where?
At the Roots picnic in Philly. It was amazing.
Oh, okay. I was about to say he hasn't been to Boston in about 4 years.
Yeah, I
but-
love The Weeknd.
Yes, The Weeknd, like, I gotta say, an artist like him, like, he's just, like, this is a bold statement I'm gonna make. He's better than Michael Jackson right now. I don't know if I'll go that far, but
Yeah.
he's up there. Like, I could say,
Now
he's
who's
done
this
stuff.
dude?
He's
Weeknd. It's The Weeknd. He's
Better than Michael Jackson.
No.
he's
he's not.
I wouldn't say better, but he's done stuff Michael Jackson's. In fact, a lot of artists right now, I'm sorry to say this, as a hardcore Michael Jackson fan, there's stuff that is out right now that he never did. Not because, it's just the legacy of Michael Jackson will never be beaten, but in terms of, technical ingenuity, in terms of sonic boom, in terms of...
That's because it's technically advancing and you can do more stuff now than it. But Michael Jackson is the one he's the first one that came out to transforming his face from a person to a lion. You know, remember that flick that he did where he turned into a lion at the end? He was the first one that created that. Well, he learned that from a young guy in New York. He's seen it.
Shalimar.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I need to stop talking. Y'all gonna think I'm like.
Right. What I'm trying to say, like, the legacy of Michael Jackson will never be beaten. I'm saying in terms of like the actual creativity and everything, there's stuff now that, okay, better is not the right word. I don't think better is a good word to use, but it's more
Advanced.
advanced.
No, but I like The Weeknd because he. I just like him. He's a good performer. He has good
gotta check
stage
this guy out.
presence. He just like I don't know. I just love The Weeknd.
He's a great-
I know
Is that a person or a
Yes,
group?
It's a person.
He's
The
called-
Weeknd.
He's called The Weeknd.
Okay.
But he's
I'ma check him
he's
out.
He's really good. I
He's-
saw him live and I was mesmerized.
Okay.
And he didn't do anything else. He's not dancing.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not doing anything. He just has a great stage presence.
Good, okay,
and
that'll
I just,
do it.
I just think he's an amazing artist.
I love all kind of music. I mean, I love fusion. I write because I'm a writer, and before I was doing poetry, I'm a songwriter. I write songs, R&B. I got country and western songs. Love ballads.
Now,
hip
what
hop.
sign are you?
I'm the sign that governs the mind.
Taurus?
Gemini.
Oh, on the
Taurus.
topic of music, I want to say this too. Like, with the whole trap music scene, I'm sure
Trap,
you're familiar with it. It's a lot of nonsense lyrics and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
yada yada
See,
yada.
that's what I don't like. I figure if somebody's got 3 million people listening and hanging on every word that they're saying, then they got to have something better to say than some old bull crap out their mouth. And you got all these people listening to you, you better have something to say instead of some gibberish. This is me personally.
Right.
People
So-
make songs and joke around because they're happy and they make lyrical lines, but I'm too serious for that. If I got you listening to me
He's
on TV,
serious.
you better
serious.
believe I'm gonna have something for you to think about.
He's a serious guy. I'm
So,
sitting right next to him. Go
on
ahead.
the, on the topic of hip hop, for example, it's just a lot of people like they talk about the 80s, the 90s. They talk about the De La Soul days,
Yeah,
and
so,
you know, and you know that's great and grand, and you know, it was a good time. But I like the stuff now better than.
and that's fine. It's fine to like the
But
stuff
if you listen
now,
to the
like-
stuff now, in the reality, it's the stuff that they sampled from the old school. Because all these hip hop artists out here now, they'll listen to the music, they're sampling all the old guys, the Funkadelics and the George Clinton and that crew, and everything is a sample now that they take
Nowadays,
it.
I wouldn't say it's you know I wouldn't say so much 70s samples, but that was more like 90s that was going to that. But
They're doing it right to now. And good music is timeless. You know what I'm saying? A good song is a good song. My favorite song in the whole world is Fleetwood Mac's Dreams.
I love Fleetwood Mac.
You know that song, Dreams?
You know what? No, and this is no lie. And you can look this up, because if you look at my promo video on YouTube, I say I have the biggest crush on Lindsey Buckingham from Fleetwood Mac. Real talk.
Okay.
You can look back, and I
Okay.
did say this. I love Fleetwood Mac.
Now
but I
you know
love Lindsey
Dreams.
Buckingham.
You know Dreams. You know the song Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. If you love Fleetwood Mac, you got to know Dreams.
Oh, sing. What's
Now here she goes again. You say you want your freedom.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, who am I to keep your hand?
Yeah, I got it.
Yes. That right there. That's my when I come to do a show, that's my playlist. I listen to that before I go on stage.
Yeah, I love Fleetwood Mac. Do you like Fleetwood Mac?
I honestly I don't know enough about Fleetwood Mac to really comment.
You gotta get into some Fleetwood.
But I know about Migos.
Okay, these guys are all over the place. I'm sorry that I don't know who you are. I'm gonna start listening to your stuff. I'm gonna start trying to get hip to the Migos, because you're all over the place, and I need to really get hip to the Migos, because I'm hearing a lot about the Migos. So I need to listen to some of their
Listen,
stuff.
I mean it's garbage as hell, but it's just catchy.
No, but I still
and
need
it's
to
very
know-
technical and advanced.
yeah.
And I'm very well aware it's trashy, but it's so trashy. It's creative.
I gotta listen to some of their stuff, because they're all over the place.
Okay,
The
yeah, you
Migos.
got Migos. You got to catch up on Migos. You got to catch up on. Well, you already listened to The Weeknd. Who else?
Weeknd, yeah.
Who are the modern artists right now?
I love Drake.
CD Storm.
CD Storm. You got to catch up on CD Storm.
All right,
Shout out to
so we're gonna catch up on some CD Storm. I'm gonna catch up on my Migos.
Migos. Who else? I'm trying to think right now. ASAP Rocky. That's another rapper.
I saw him at the Roots picnic.
Yeah.
I saw him at the Roots picnic. The same time that Weeknd was there.
Yeah, you
Same
gotta
weekend,
you gotta
yeah.
catch up on. There's a guy named 21 Savage. You gotta catch up on him. Mm-hmm. Who else? 21 Savage.
All right, ladies. Dennis, are you single? Cause you seem to. He's up on the trap. He's up on the Migos. I'm starting to see a pattern. So Dennis, if Dennis is
Ladies, all right. Let's talk about girls.
if
I like
Dennis-
talking about ladies.
Dennis, I think Dennis might like, chocolate girls. I don't know. Just getting up.
So, what makes you say
he
that?
does.
Anyways, so we're just gonna end on that.
Of course
note.
he
I
does.
mean, he doesn't. Maybe he just likes. I don't know.
Now,
what
who
Dennis
doesn't
likes.
like some delicious chocolate? Who don't?
On that note, thank you guys for coming
It is my
on
pleasure.
the show.
All right.
But Dennis, we're gonna get
I'm out
together,
there.
man. We're gonna do something together.
It's a pleasure.
I'm gonna bring you into the hood. Yeah.
That's I'm holding you up to that statement. I'm holding you up.
Okay.
I'm holding you
All right.
responsible. That is that
Thank
would be a
you.
promise.
You're in good
Joining
hands.
us tonight for another episode of Cordelia's Passion. We'll catch you next time.